Okay. Totally lost track of what I was saying, but what I want to say I was getting to is if your heart isn't in what you're doing and you are focusing strictly on how you can serve yourself based on your own exhaustion, based on your own lack of empathy. For example, like this is the example I posed for this particular person during this conversation. If you can look at a person and say something like, I'm exhausted, this person is also tired, so they're useless to me, instead of saying to yourself, I'm exhausted, but this person is tired too, and I know how that feels, so I empathize. How can I serve them? This is the difference between aligning with something that is self-serving instead of aligning yourself with what is intended for you to align with. People get confused about how they should conduct themselves. I feel like people think that they're powerful when they're looking at people as commodities, when they themselves are out of touch with the fact that they are hurt by people commoditizing them, right? It's up to you as a person to decide where your boundaries are for what you're able to provide to people. If you're too tired or you're too weak or you're not fortified in a skill set to do something for someone else and you are petitioning someone else's help, ask yourself how you would want to be approached in that situation and ask yourself why or why not you would anticipate some kind of respect the way that you do. And if you haven't thought about what respect feels like for you or what it means to you, this is something that you really need to work on for yourself, because when you work on it for yourself, you start reflecting that toward other people. And here's the thing. Another thing that people confuse with a value system that they hold is what they break rules over. Do they break rules to serve themselves in a purpose, or do they break rules to serve themselves out of desperation? Are they desperate or are they aligned? When you're desperate, you're seeking aid or relief from something. But when you're aligned, you're creating your own relief with the intention of healing yourself in order to continue healing others. That's something people get confused a lot, because when they're searching for themselves, right, they're focused in a sense on what they want, both of them, both parties, the desperate and the healing. But desperate people don't go out of their way to look for ways to use people to heal themselves. They don't do that. They ask, they petition, but they don't rely on themselves first if they're desperate. If they're not desperate, right? The first thing they do is ask, what can I do myself with my own hands to resolve my issue here? What can I create to resolve my issue? What can I learn to resolve this issue? What can I repair with what I know to resolve my issue, right? Those are people who are in check with themselves. They understand the work that they've already done and how to apply it. This is important in discerning these two things. And I say this because when you're in a point of discernment between someone who is using you and someone for your own protection who is guiding you, the person who's guiding you is looking for ways to fix their own situations with their own work, with their own lessons, with their own integrity. They're not copying other people, they're not borrowing from other people. They are simply resonating with downloads, sometimes shared downloads, which can be very eerie because it's like sometimes people share with each other and they start talking like each other. That's one thing. But it's an entire thing that's different in another case where if you are in a situation where someone that you don't know, someone that you have no like previous contact with is stalking you and stealing from you, this is far different. This isn't accolades being paid. This is theft of your identity, your spiritual signature, who you are. It's theft of who you are. Like, see it for what it is, right? Desperate people they'll go out of their way to steal who you are from you because somewhere along the line they dropped their face. They cracked whatever mask they were holding up and need yours. People with integrity don't have to wear a mask because their self-worth starts speaking for themselves. Their self-worth, in fact, when it's fully developed, has the ability to put smiles on other people's faces where they once held a mask there to cover how they really felt. Know the difference. When you work with God, and I'm not talking about whatever creed you follow. When you work with God, God speaks through your heart and through your own works to reach other people. He doesn't speak through your suffering while you're suffering, necessarily. He teaches you how to speak through your suffering to grow, to help others after you've healed. God won't employ you while you're suffering so much that you can't bear your own existence. He won't do that. He, in fact, will send you people to remind you that a lot of your true suffering comes from a lack of a connection with the heart space where He sits. I want to bring that to your attention because, like I said, it doesn't matter which creed you follow. It's about your ethos. It's about what you hold in your heart, your intentions. Your intentions and your ambitions together, not just the intelligence that comes with ambition. It's your connection to who is sent to help you. It's your connection to how you are meant to help others. That, the heart, the soul of you, is what is attempted to be stolen. Because without it, the forces at work to change you against your own heart and your true will, the person you were born and the heart that you possess, the innocence you possessed as a child, this is what is stolen from you. Because these are actually your legs to navigate through life. These are your limbs. These sentiments you hold. These are your paddles on a creek. This is what carries you. This is what keeps you going. Without that, you don't have anywhere to go, no matter where you're headed. Because what you were supposed to carry there is already gone. Right? So we can talk about machines all day. I was just talking about how I wanted to, install like Linux on my new machine and everything. And I'm so grateful for the fact that I even came into the possession of this machine. I'm so grateful for my friends. Mila, Eldar, if you ever see this, thank you. Thank you for supporting. Um, talk about that, right? But it's like, even when you're talking about something as simple as something fun that you want to do, you want to have fun, right? Sometimes it's who you're having it with. Sometimes you understand what grief is when you lose contact with the people, the experiences, the heartfelt gestures that granted you the most enjoyment out of life, right? And that's in anything. So I wanted to share that because I feel like now is the time that people are really inclined to understand that, not just because it's about to get cold outside, not just because we're approaching holiday seasons, not just because holiday seasons have passed, but because we're aligning with morality. I know, it's like a word like, oh, not morality. Yeah, morality is a treasure, you know? And it's something that you want to guard. You want to protect your morality because people see that when they're up to no good and they're like, that one thing about you has to go before you can achieve anything, and that's exactly where they're wrong. Because despite your achievements, they won't gratify you without that intact. Anyway, this has been Tired Goth. Thank you for tuning in to the Academia Gothica official podcast. I'm about to sign off. This is season 11, episode 6, part 3. We had a few recording sessions here today. But wherever you are in the world, I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm glad you tuned in, and I would just like to thank you for being here, for listening, for just being who you are. Thank you for being here. And if you'd like to support me, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube videos. Check out the Patreon for the articles that were written there. There's a whole bunch of content there. I kind of stopped posting some YouTube content there. I kind of forgot to update it. It's been busy. I'll get to it eventually, but until that point, until I return in some way with whatever videos are being posted on the YouTube, give all of my social medias a little bit of attention if you have the time and the interest in doing so. And my Cash App tip jar is there if you're so inclined to pay attention to that. I'm just grateful you're here. It's not mandatory for you to participate that way. I'm just happy that you're like alive and well and just chilling and spending time with me. And I'm working on a live session soon. So just be patient with that. And I'll keep you all posted on the book drop. So love you guys. Take care. Bye.